Hey y'all. So it is Monday night. Hope you've had a beautiful Labor Day. Um, Mine has been fantastic. I have this beautiful little baby. It's just been incredible. I'm also pretty sleep deprived, so there's that. But a trade I'm very willing to make. So anyway, I know y'all just talked about this. Ideally together in your warm up. But I just wanted to double back and share just a couple thoughts because I was never able to kind of be with you as we wrapped up in Enemy of the People, and I think the ending of the play is so powerful. But I wanted to kind of hone in on these four quotes that you guys just looked at, and to kind of harken back to that's a good word, harken, recall back to what we talked about last week, right? The thing that separates boys from men. Um, and again, I think one of the keys, there's lots, right? There's lots, but I think one of them is that men have a backbone, right? Men are willing to stand for something even when it comes back to bite them, right? Even when there are consequences and repercussions to decisions they make, to things they stand for. Um, but the key is that they stand for something, right? They don't just coast through life. They don't just go with the majority, like you see most of the people in the town doing in this play. They stand for things that they believe in, and I think in these four quotes, one of the things I think really kind of weaves them together is a lack of that, right? So we see the landlord evicting them in this first quote, and what all of these people do is they make these decisions, but then they make it sound like they had no other choice, right? So Dr. Simon says he hates to do it, but with public opinion, what it is, as in like he had no other choice, right? He says that he had no other choice. Mrs. Stockman talking about the glazer not fixing the windows. She says, "Yeah, people don't like to be pointed out." Peter Stockman firing Dr. Stockman says there was nothing else that I could do considering the state of public opinion, right? And then Hofstad basically says the same thing. We couldn't go on supporting you, making it sound like they didn't have any other choice. Um, and it's all bullcrap, right? I hope y'all are seeing through that, right? It's all bullcrap. Of course, there's another choice, right? And the other choice is to stand for something, like Dr. Stockman did, stand for something true, and then deal with the consequences when they come. Could Peter have not fired him? Absolutely, right? Would that have maybe made him an enemy of the people as well? Probably. Does that take away that choice that he could stand for something? Absolutely not. Right? Could Hofstad and the paper have supported Dr. Stockman? Absolutely. Would the paper have been boycotted too? Probably. And they would have to deal with that. Remember, we talked about having skin in the game. Um, so whether you think Dr. Stockman's a good character or not, whether you think he made the right decision or not, right? Because it almost makes it sound like he might get killed. There's rocks flying through the window. His family's completely alone and isolated. Um, whether you agree with that or not, I think the fact of the matter is that he stood for something, right? And he was able to handle the consequences of it, right? And there's such a beautiful thing with that. Also wanted to point out this other quote. So Dr. Stockman, Petra gets fired from her job as well, right? And so Dr. Stockman decides to start a school with Petra, right? He says, "Hey, gather about 8 or 10 boys, get them off the street. I want them good and ignorant," is what he says. I just love that. Um, but then he says this to Petra. He says, "We'll begin, Petra, and we'll turn out taxpayers. Well, excuse me, we'll turn out not taxpayers and newspaper subscribers, but free and independent people hungry for the truth." And if you were to ask me what's the purpose of school, I would say this is exactly what schools should be doing. That school should not be churning out people just to pay taxes and subscribe to newspapers, right? Just to get a job and to go into a business world and make good money, just to go to college. That's not the purpose of school. I really believe that the purpose of school should be to turn out free and independent people hungry for the truth. And I just want y'all to consider: are you approaching school in that manner, right? I'm going to ask that question instead of this one. Are you approaching the things that we do in this class, the things you do in other classes, as a way of learning how to be hungry for truth? Or are you just approaching it as, hey, get me a grade to get to junior year, to get into college, to get a job? Right? Because I think that's just going with the majority, right? That's being one of those townspeople who just follows like a sheep. Um, are you taking school? Are you taking this class to become free and independent people, hungry for the truth? And I pray that's true, right? I really pray that's true, that you are really desiring what is true. And then we get this last quote, right? We're the strongest people in the world. The strong must learn to be lonely. I love it. I'm not going to say anything about it because you guys already wrote about it. Um, Man, it gives me chill bumps every time I read it, though. Right? When you are fighting for the truth, you will be alone. That's what Allegory of the Cave says. That's what we see with Jesus. That's what we see with Dr. Sotman. Take it seriously, right? Ask yourself, is that something you're willing to do? And if it's not, right, maybe ask yourself why. All right, go do good things. I'll make another video in the morning to talk about essay stuff, and we'll go from there.